Hello, everybody. It's Nanny Dice here on a glorious, sunshiny Friday. How's everybody doing? I knew it. Everybody's doing good. Well, at least in your heart, you got to be doing good, right? There's other stuff going around the world. Just be good to you. Be kind to you. Anyway, I've been thinking about this story for the last 3 days now. I've been hearing about these Moms4Liberty. Now, they're two ex-school board members from Florida, Tina Descovich and Tiffany Justice. Her mother named her after a lamp or something. Christ almighty. But anyway, these two started out as school board members, and then they decided that they were going to wreak havoc on the rest of the country. And they're doing it slowly but surely. They have 126 chapters of Moms4Liberty in 35 different states. And what they do is they ban books. They don't even read them. And we'll get into that in a minute. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you like your family and friends, share it with them. And please, punch that subscribe button for me, will you? I need some more followers. I'm trying to get to 6,000 by June. I didn't make it by the new year. Well, let's try for June, shall we? But anyway, yeah, that's how this is going here. And please leave a comment. But okay, let's get back to these bitches of Bedlam, shall we? Okay, now back in May 10th, 1933, before most of us were born, there was an organization called Deutsche Studentenschaft. And what these were students for Hitler. And part of their mandate was that when they ran out of books in their own libraries, they turned to independent bookstores, and libraries were asked to stock their shelves with material that stood up to Hitler's standards and destroy anything that did not. These ladies are right in line with all that stuff, fascist bullshit. But anyway, the group carried out public burnings of books they claimed were un-German. Now, you can insert Moms4Liberty in there because they want to get rid of any authors, basically, that are black, gay, or anything else that they don't like. Just saying. So anyway, in 2020, the big orange moose knuckle there down in Florida, when he was president, he heard that California was going to be adding the 1619 project to the public school curriculum. Well, as soon as he heard that, he said if that happens, he's going to pull any federal funding for public schools in California. And not about a day later or so, he came out with his own project called the 1776 Project, whose supreme goal was to develop a patriotic curriculum. What in the name of Christ does that even mean? I'm sure we are about to find out. I think you already know, though. So anyway, these maids of mayhem there say that they stand up for parental rights, but not just in education now. Parental rights in all levels of government. Like, how fucking dare they? Now, they are literally stoking and banning the flames because they are literally holding book burnings. That's right. Now, they've even banned Martin Luther King's book, for Christ's sake, The March on Washington. It's banned. And it was probably in one of them book burnings, I'm thinking, because they say it depicts some pictures of violence. Really? Have they watched cartoons lately? Have they? There's a lot of violence going on there, too, in the cartoons. I'm just saying. Jesus. But anyway, if they're so worried about that, are they going to show any violence that surrounds any of the Trump rallies there when they're thumping people out there and Trump saying, you go ahead and smash them in the head, I'll pay for your legal bills? Are they allowed to watch that violence? Or how about the violence on January 6th when they attacked the Capitol and were beating up cops and everything else and terrorizing all the workers in the Capitol? Did they care about those people? Is that the kind of violence they're allowed to, the kids can watch there? It's because they're patriots, right? So maybe you should be able to watch that violence. But anyway, they started initiating programs like this when it was the mask bill. And they'd follow kids and parents home when little kids wear masks because the kids chose to wear them, and tormenting the kids and everything else. But now it's gotten worse. it's gotten to the point where they're going to school board meetings because they don't want any books by gay people or apparently black people and brown people, and I'll get to that in a minute. They're starting to scream things at these school board meetings like, we're going to come at you like a freight train. We are going to make you beg for mercy. If you think January 6th was bad, just wait till you see what we have in store for you. Or like one of those school board meetings that was on the news there, you showed the one guy, he got fed up because of all the bullshit and lies that they were spouting about LGBTQ kids and stuff, that he got up and he walked out. Well, they followed him out to the parking lot, and there was a huge crowd of them pounding on his car and following him and running around. The cops kind of protected him, but they didn't really do anything with the crowd. They just kind of stood in front of his car, and that's all they did. But they're screaming things like, we know where you live. We know who you are. We know where your family lives. We know where your spouse works. That is terrorism. That is terrifying somebody to the point where I don't know what I would do. But I guess now that it's open carry and you don't need a license in Florida, I'm thinking I'd be packing. I'm just a frail old lady, right? Now, they have reported a school board member, and they reported her for child abuse. It wasn't true, but because she took over one of the seats of one of these friggin' maids of mayhem there, they didn't like that, so they decided, well, we'll screw her up. So they reported for child abuse. None of it was true, and it was all proved not to be true. So anyway, now they have created a position or a job or whatever for a book/library director that will be responsible for evaluating book lists, not reading them, just evaluating the lists and challenging them and then gutting public libraries. That's right, because they're going to public libraries now. They're not just satisfied with school libraries, they're going to the public libraries. Now, these bitches of Bedlam have teamed up with things like Book Look and Book Looks. That's right. Now, these people do like crowdsourcing and stuff like that. So they were crowdsourcing parents' book reviews on their banned list there. So then they use those lists for a reason to ban these books. Now, they rate these books on a scale from 0 to 5. Now, 0 means anybody can read them, as long as you can read, I suppose. And 5 means you could be arrested for reading these in a school. Because if you're reading them in a classroom, the teacher's getting arrested for having a book in the classroom in the first place. But anyway, and they actually banned an award-winning book by a girl named Alison Betchell, and her book was called Fun Home. Now, she talks about growing up in a home from childhood through all her school years, high school, college, adulthood, and then she found out she was a lesbian. And she talks about how her family dealt with all that stuff and how her family was growing up and stuff like that. And I don't know if it's a side note or not, but she says she thinks her dad is a closeted gay. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but even if he is, if he's living in Florida, I think I'm going to go in the closet too. Not that I'm gay, but if I was, I'd be staying out of everybody else's way. I like my life. I don't want to be killed. So anyway, talks about all that stuff. But her book was banned because of its alternative sexualities and alternative gender ideologies. The book received a 4 rating, which means it's not for minors. Well, you know what? People are born gay. It's not something they just say, oh, Jesus, let's be gay so I can get the shit punched out of me every time I show up at school. No, they're born that way. Just like you and I are born. I was born with a big mouth, and now I'm an old person with a big mouth. But anyway, people are born gay. It's not an alternative lifestyle. It's not something they choose. It's something they are. That's all it is. Get the fuck over it. Now, their current goal is to take over school libraries and school positions all over, school board positions all over the country. And they're on their way. So Mom4Liberty are a right-wing propaganda organization that are totally whitewashing all American history and are pushing LGBTQ agendas, or anti-LGBTQ agendas, and calling out their friends, their family, anybody that supports them, and calling them pedophiles and groomers. I think they better look in their own goddamn backyard. Old DeSantis down there, 23 years old, partying up with 15 and 16-year-olds, all drinking and stuff like that. He only taught for 1 year at that private girls' school, but maybe it was because they found out about what he was like and booted his ass out and told him to never teach again or they'd be on his ass. That's my guess. That's just me saying. So I'm thinking them calling him a groomer wasn't too far from the truth, in my humble opinion. Wanted to say that for a while now. But anyway, their current goal is to take over school boards all across the country. Now, whitewashing history is something that's happened for a long time. People are just only finding out about like Juneteenth and stuff like that. Even people in friggin' Oklahoma didn't know about that stuff until they really started celebrating it. I kind of heard about it a few years ago, but I looked into it. That was a frightening fucking night, I'm telling you. Bunch of friggin' crazy people with torches and pitchforks coming at you and burning your whole goddamn town because they were jealous. Because black people shouldn't be allowed to do that. How fucking disgusting is that? But anyway, now Ron DeSantis got put in front of an interview, and one of the questions came up about one of the books on their ban list. Now, apparently there's 1.6 million books on their ban list. 1.6 million books. And that's only in Florida, for Christ's sake. Yeah, that's the book titles that are on their ban list. Now, he was asked a question about book banning. He said, oh, no, we're not doing that. And they said, well, yeah, you kind of are, because you're burning these books and everything else, and teachers are afraid to put them on their classroom shelves. Well, didn't Roberto Clemente write a children's book? And they went and put it on the banned list? And that's what they were talking to old Mussolini DeSantis there. They were asking him about banned books, and he was going, no, we're not banning books. Yeah, you fucking are, you bastard. You're banning them left, right, and center. You got 1.6 million books on a ban list, but they banned Roberto Clemente's book because one little part of it, it's a children's book. One little part of it said that he was treated different because of his skin color when he joined the big leagues. And I know that's true because look at Jackie Robinson's story. So anyway, stuff like that's going on, but he's trying to backpedal so goddamn hard because he figured out that in the last election, that 1.5 million people voted for Ron DeSantis, 54% of Puerto Ricans voted for him. And you know that the Puerto Ricans, and Cubans, by the way, love their baseball. And if you're going to ban his book, you're in big goddamn trouble, and I don't think he can backpedal himself out of it far enough. But you know what? There are some people out there that are fighting to make this a good cause. And these groups to cheer on are Parents for the Freedom to Learn. And they're pushing back on the Maids of Mayhem. Their whole purpose is to mobilize progressive parents to oppose oppressive education policies and book bans. All right. And another group is School Board Partners, which challenge the growing conservative presence on school boards. And then there's Truth Ed, that advocates to protect student rights to an unencumbered education. Please check these people out. Give them a hand if you can. Go on their websites. Give them a little attaboy, whatever you can do. But Ron DeSantis, he's trying to backpedal his way out of this shit, and it's not going so good. And I hope he gets run out on a rail. I really do. Probably not going to happen. That's just wishful thinking on my part. Don't forget, subscribe, share, like. Love you, Vods. Be good to you. I know this went over, but I had a lot to say, and I tried to say it fast. I love you all. Be good. Be safe. Have a good weekend. Nana loves ya.